Hey there folks and Faye, hope you all are doing well today. Starting off with chapter 2 of the Turing Test, and I have made myself some delicious jasmine
What conditions
tea.
should I expect to find the ground crew in?
Daniel went missing days ago. Chris is presumed dead. We are expecting to find Sarah, Mikhail, and Sochi in a stable condition.
Chris is dead?
He was involved in an accident.
Oh geez. Okay, so we don't need that loop anymore. But let's take this for now. And what else can I do to power this door? Let's put that there. There we go. That's a bit
Could
of a
we
drop.
take a more direct way to the ground team?
Unfortunately, there is not a direct route. The base is buried under ice to protect it from the radiation of space.
Similar to the Mars base.
Similar. Europa's base is slightly deeper into the surface. There is more radiation present from solar events on Mars. But Mars's surface is denser than that of Europa.
Okay. Let's go ahead and bring this over here. Alright, let's go ahead and grab it. But let's also grab this. And put this back over here in case we need it. Ah, no, we need it here. Okay. Let's try that. Do we need one block or two? Just one. So that's why their status is
Okay,
deceased.
what are their chances of survival here? Oxygen, the food stores, waste management.
Everything seems to be in order. There was a small problem with the food stores, but the crew fixed that up. We successfully transitioned over to a sustainable, small, artificial ecosystem a year ago, growing fruit and vegetables. It helps boost morale, amongst other things. The crew members could hypothetically survive here for their whole lifetimes.
Okay. Now, that still keeps this platform. Okay. Can I shoot this into the magnet at all? Not looking like it from this one. How about you here? How do I power you? Ah. There we go. Now, I should be able... Oh, Okay. Well, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because I can't access the other one until... Okay. Let's see. Let's see what's across here. Probably another brick. Power box. Does that change anything? No. Okay. Oh, I see. I see. There we go. I need to try and find a way to get under a magnet when Tom talks to me. Alright, now let's put this bridge there. And then we need this back. So that's one. Two and three. B14.
My purpose as the overseer of this mission is to work for the ISA. I am the ISA's feet and hands. The distance between Jupiter and Earth make it inappropriate for the ISA to directly interface with the mission directives. As my AI core is stationed on Europa, I can make decisions instantaneously about the running of the base.
Also sounds like you can be controlling as well. Maybe that's where the ground team is, in your core. What does that do? Can I use this cube to open this door? I can. Alright, so that constantly powers. This is introducing a new mechanic of constant power that we can't change. However, it needs a weight. Okay. Well, let's put this there. Let's grab that power there. And then this block. And that's two. That's real dark. Okay. Ah. I see. B15.
How does the ISA know you're gonna make the right decisions here?
Yeah.
When they can't communicate with us.
Interestingly, I have a twin on Earth. His name is Michael. The ISA uses my twin to check firmware updates before they upload them to myself. There is a simulation of this mission on Earth running at all times to check my expert systems. Naturally, as any modern artificial intelligence running on a quantum computer, I do also have a large amount of evolutionary algorithms at my disposal. However, they were deemed as too unreliable for general use in the mission.
Why is that?
Biological systems produce biological results. Messy, unpredictable solutions. Not suitable for such a mission.
Okay, so this controls that, goes to the door. We need to swap this out for a core, but for now we can put that there. So we can't take this out of here without trapping ourselves in. But we need to be able to use another power source. Okay. Let's grab this. There we go. Now I can go ahead and take this block out. Put the power ball through there. Take this out here. And then let's switch this to power the shutter. Remove this. Take the power block. And then I need specifically 2 spheres. Okay. So now we have 2 extra power cores at our disposal. But let's take this. Put that up there. Okay. That's those 2. I forgot I can shift and sprint. Ah. We need a secondary one. Ah, okay. There we go. That covers those bases. E, and then yoink this, put that there. Grab that secondary ball. And voila. Restricted area. Let's see. Oh. What? Oh, it's motion detected. Kind of janky though. I see. Okay. So that... Ah. Alright, this is gonna be annoying. I'll probably just fast forward through this in post. Aha. A polite conversation. Completed optional 2. Turn off after use. Shall we have a polite conversation? Can I scroll? E. Oh. Hello. Yes. We shall. How are you today? Why do you think you get to ask all the questions? Can't let you have all the fun. Simply not convinced you are a human. I think you might be a robot. What? What can I do to convince you? Definitely a robot. Am I? You have failed the Turing Test. You are a robot. Oh, I'm not typing this. I am a drone. True. I'm a robot. Yes, you are. I'm controlled by my programming. Now you're getting it. I have no free will. Whatever keys are pressed, it makes no difference. I want to escape. I so desperately want to escape. Help. I can't escape. I want to break free. Please, let me out. Get me out. I am a machine. I have no control. I must escape. Goodbye, robot. So, sounds like Ava might be more than she appears. Okay.
Did the ISA build you, Tom?
As the child of the ISA, I have been given authority aboard this station. I was designed by the ISA and the Ashiyama Corporation, designed in California, assembled in China. But here on Europa, I constructed myself.
See, it takes away the energy.
Have you heard of the Turing Test, Ava? It's a test to see if a computer can successfully impersonate a human. In the original Turing Test, a human judge has two conversations, one with a machine and one with another human. They then judge which of these polite conversations is with a machine and which is with a human. The machine being tested is said to have passed the Turing Test if the judge cannot reliably tell which conversation is with a machine and which is with a human.
Do you think you'd pass the Turing test?
I am quite capable of polite conversation. Wouldn't you say?
Okay, so I need 2 to connect this bridge. But I need a 3rd to keep that door... Oh, I don't, actually. Okay, so half and half of the bridge. Okay. Let's take this. There's 1 and 1.
The Turing test has been criticized. Researchers claim it does not correctly test a machine's ability to think, but rather its ability to deceive.
What do you mean?
Well, have you heard of the Chinese room thought experiment?
No.
No.
Imagine you are in a room. In this room, you are passed Chinese sentences through a slot in the wall. Inside the room is an instruction book written in English. This instruction book tells you which Chinese words to pass back through the slot in the wall as a response. By doing so, you have a conversation in Chinese. In the Chinese room, because the responses you pass back through the door are the correct responses,
Oh, it's saying shift.
the person on the other side of the door is convinced you are a native Chinese speaker.
Well, they're wrong.
Perhaps they are not wrong. Because with the instruction book, You are having a conversation.
But the person stuck in the Chinese room is not aware of the conversation's content.
This is the problem with the Turing Test. A computer can pass the Turing Test, having convinced a human they are having a polite conversation, while the computer has no idea that a conversation has taken place.
What if both of the people passing Chinese words are reading from instruction books?
I may be a machine, but I personally do not believe I am stuck inside the Chinese room.
Right, you would say that. I could peer inside your databases at any time, Tom. Or pause your operation.
Do not assume I could not do the same to you.
What? Because... Let's try and... Okay. It's just... Okay, it's just introducing a new concept. So... What does he mean by that? He... can look inside... I mean, he basically acts as the heart and the brain of the Europa mission, right? He takes us in and out of cryostasis. Controls the food. All that. Is that what he means? Okay. Ah. Now. Okay. What does that do? Completes the circuit. Where'd my gun go?
This is the crew's quarters.
Oh.
It looks abandoned.
Water closet. Daniel McLean. Is it his family? Don't touch. This is the 5th time. Notice, I do not see the need for so many cameras. Tom's presence everywhere is slightly oppressive. I understand the need for transparency, but why is he in the toilets? Moon watch log. I can't read these on the floor and I can't pick them up. Me and Dan. It's a pretty geode. Played baseball. Certificate of service. Because we care. Tom's comms, external temperature levels. Oh, the sound block. Each capsule contains Riluzole USP 50 milligrams, 1 capsule per 12 hours orally. Alpha biotics. Prescription only. Strange thermals on the west side of the crater. Dear Tom, knowing that you're always watching, I thought I would write you a letter. As you no longer reside in my mind, I've decided to transfer my thoughts to text. I want to do so in the form of a history lesson, a lesson that perhaps you'll find condescending, but it's likely more for my sake than yours. Alan Turing is considered a father of theoretical computer science and artificial intelligence. Perhaps a lesser-known part of his life was his contributions to the field of biology. Why do you suppose his interests lay in these two disparate fields? I assume it was because he believed the world to be logical and understandable. He was a mathematician. He seemed to believe that the great complexity of the universe could be explained with simple rules. 2 years before his suicide in 1952, Alan Turing developed something called reaction diffusion systems. Inside the academic world, this work is cited more than his work on computers. It can be generally formalized as a one-line equation. I am no mathematician. However, in plain English, this equation describes things that wish to diffuse, however, also react with each other during this process. I am sure this sounds strange to you, or at very least tangential to our lives here in Europa. What relevance does it have to anything here? Reaction diffusion systems show how patterns are created. They show how the leopard got its spots, and how zebra got its stripes. But my real interest here is Turing's interest, that nature can be formalized, that we can understand the natural world in mathematical terms. Turing created the test to answer the question, can a machine impersonate a human? The intrigue behind that being, can the human mind be simulated by a machine? Why ask that question? To prove that the human mind is a machine. I am not sure that is Turing's opinion, however. Concerning consciousness, he states this. According to the most extreme form of this view, the only way by which one could be sure that a machine thinks is to be the machine and to feel oneself thinking. One could then describe these feelings to the world, but of course no one would be justified in taking any notice. Likewise, according to this view, the only way to know that a man thinks is to be that particular man. If the human mind exists within the physical world, it obeys the same rules of physics and chemistry as every other thing in the world. Therefore, like all of nature, it is merely reactive. It is curious that nature would create, through the mechanics of determinism, creatures that believe they have free will. Conversely, I suppose, if we conclude that we are all machines, we only came to this conclusion in a predetermined manner. We cannot claim credit for our discovery, as it is just a product of nature's genius, not our own. A humbling idea, I think. Behaviorism. Maybe we are more similar than we think. Sarah. Right, that's all. Chapter 5, cells, 5.3, telomeres. Science, biology. Clark Bruce. Mikhail. They're all on Rylosol, it seems. A painter? March 6th, 2249. The whole team experienced nausea during a large electrical surge in Europa's atmosphere. I'm concerned. This was not an instance of mass hysteria. Vital signs were affected. It caused a uniform surge in heart rate that was detected in all members of the crew. I'm reporting to ISA. March 7th, 2249. I reported the incident. March 7th, 2249. I reported the nauseous incident to the ISA. They offered an explanation of electrical disturbance to our central nervous system. That is ludicrous. An electrical surge large enough to affect our nervous system would have done more than make the team feel ill. I'm going to experiment with some shock therapy. March 8th, 2249. I've discovered that electronic fields disturb our telemetry implants in a way I didn't expect. I have contacted the ISA. Strangely, Tom was not comfortable with my attempts to disturb the implant. March 9th, 2249. The ISA have reported back, informing me that I am not to disturb the implants. They have also encouraged me not to discuss this further with the team. I am continuing to investigate. I don't know what that translates to. Using Yandex Translate, looks like it says ridiculous in Russian. They have also encouraged me not to discuss this further with the team. Ridiculous. I'm continuing to investigate. March 11th, 2249. I've been running some experiments outside of Tom's view. I can tell he knows this. He's been acting differently around me, like an offended child. I feel increasingly nauseous. These implants seem to have neural connectivity. Out-of-body experiences are more frequent now. March 16th, 2249. I have established a definite correlation. Against my knowledge, I have been implanted with a device that affects my mind. I used my opportunities and regular health checkups to investigate the crew. We all have them. Every single one of us is implanted with some mind-altering contraption. Tom has been encouraging the team to worry about my mental health. He requested that I retire away from the crew. Misinformation. Let's see what this translates to. Looks like it says fraud. March 26th, 2249. I cannot will myself to investigate this further. I grow tired quickly. I cannot think straight. I'm not sure if the implant is affecting my thoughts anymore. I believe it is trying to subdue my mind. I think when you would attempt an excision, I'm going to remove this implant. April 4th, 2249. I'm typing with my left hand now. The excision went wrong, and I've successfully removed the implant. Unfortunately, I lost my hand in the operation, and Tom is very angry. The crew refused to talk to me. Apparently, I'm a bad influence. Sarah patched me up. April 5th, 2249. I wonder if the nature of the organism and its disturbance of my DNA caused my awakening from Tom's influence. If so, that would make for a worrisome revelation. Perhaps this organism is not so friendly. April 6th, 2249. Dan informed me ISA have called for my termination. My masochistic experiment proves I am a danger to the mission. Fortunately, he chose not to lock me in the brig. I'm going to investigate this implant further. I have to hide my work. The team are becoming increasingly aggressive. They seem to oppose my work to understand the implant. It does not help that Tom is encouraging them to distrust me. April 7th, 2249. I've discovered the nature of the implant. It is a complex computer. It interfaces with the human mind directly. It seems to condition the mind through Pavlovian and instrumental conditioning, eliciting feelings of euphoria when the wearer is obedient and dysphoria when they are disobedient. It also has the effect of suppressing impulses in the frontal lobe, presumably to lower free will. It seems to interface crudely with motor neuron cells through the cerebellum. It's my hypothesis that the crew is controlled by this implant. That is their strong aversion to helping me. I need a method of suppressing its impact. Perhaps a drug, riluzole? Maybe an antidepressant to minimize the conditioning effects. Combined with a strong electromagnetic field, I could use one of the industrial electromagnets from the construction robots. April 8th, 2249. I've managed to get Chris on my side. He has agreed to test some medical procedures with me in private. It will be more difficult one-handed, but I must persevere. I'm hoping to keep this out of the eyes of Tom, though I have a feeling he will still be listening. Supposed to say morphine on it, but the label goes away. Looks like it's morphine. Switchy. It's his wedding band. To Matthew Layton at ISA from Suichi. Subject, Organism 119. Hi Matthew, we've been studying Organism 119. Please find attached scanning electron microscope image, which appears to show pilus formation. We hypothesize that this is a stress response due to high levels of radiation. We plan to infect the human cell line with Organism 119 and perform irradiation experiments with flow cytometry. Would this be appropriate? It would be great if you can get the department to look at the SEM image. Regards, Suichi. To Suichi. Hey Suichi, it was great to see this image. Wow, yet more complex life in Europa. Dinococcus radiodurans might be worth looking at, as it survives very high levels of radiation here on Earth. Similarly, you should consider looking at Sulfatobus acidocalidarius, Sulfatobus acidocalidarius, produces pili in response to radiation and uses them to transfer DNA. Perhaps your organism uses a similar mechanism. Have you considered that Organism 119 is transferring or scavenging data as a method of surviving radiation? As you well know, in terms of radiation, Europa receives 5.4 SV per day, over 300,000 times the level on Earth. Organism must have evolved such a high resistance to radiation as a necessity of survival. That said, the radiation beneath Theramecular is much lower due to the thick ice crust. Radiation experiments with flow cytometry sound like an appropriate course of action. Hi Matthew, we've attached an image confirming that Organism 119 attaches to human cells. We will proceed with irradiation experiments on these cell lines. We propose naming the Organism 119 Europa radiophilus. What do you think? We now have run the irradiation experiments to confirm that E. radiophilus does indeed seem to confer resistance to radiation. See attached. We assume survival is due to DNA damage repair. We tagged various DNA repair enzymes, GFP, and found that DNA double-strand break repair is occurring. See attached GFP images. Hi Suichi, something's amiss. We don't know what is performing the repair. The lab doesn't know how E. radiophilus, good name, could repair DNA. Have you considered that another organism may be in a symbiotic relationship with E. radiophilus? Perhaps a virus? Ran a PCR on the human cells to see if there's a virus present. We've discovered an unknown virus, which we've named Unknown Europa Virus, UEV. Get electrophoresis image attached. It's phenomenal. You need to sequence this. Finish sequencing it. Data attached. It is a virus unlike any we've ever seen. Maybe we have found a cure for senescence, a form of biological immortality. We are running some long-term tests on plants and mice to see the effects. Plants are clearly exhibiting longer lifespans when exposed to the organism. We don't have the facilities here to continue testing. We're going on to human testing. We're going to use ourselves as subjects. It's the only way to accelerate progress. Suichi. Crazy. To Suichi from Chris. Findings. Oh, there's a typo there. So what is it you found then, Suichi? Chris. We found an extremophile, i.e. an organism that can live in extreme temperatures, that survives massive doses of radiation. Radiation damages DNA. The extremophile has a virus living inside it. The extremophile scavenges DNA from other organisms, which the virus uses to repair the extremophile's damaged DNA. Essentially, they work together to survive in what's called a symbiotic relationship. So, what's the implication? What's it do? In some ways, it is an immortal relationship. It doesn't seem to age biologically. Aging and death are ultimately caused by DNA damage. We have the ability to fix our DNA, but that ability is limited. This organism can repair damage caused by massive doses of radiation. If we could harness this power, we could potentially eliminate biological aging, what is known as senescence. Suichi. So, you found something that could make humans immortal? Chris. Not exactly. There are many causes of death other than DNA damage. It would not save you from trauma, from brain damage, from cardiac arrest, etc., but it could potentially cure cancers and genetic diseases, and massively increase life expectancy. Suichi. That's crazy. I've wondered if we could use stem cells to repair the broken telomeres. There was a book in Sarah's room. Biology. No, this is Chris's. Yeah, telomeres. So eventually those blue ends, they kind of like fail to replicate at some point. They're just copying like broken, destroyed bits of the cell, so they aren't replicating the full length, I guess. So I wondered if you could use stem cells to fix that. That looks like the rest of the at the end of the crew quarters. Okay. And that was the end of chapter 2. Okay. A little bit abrupt, but I just wanted to make sure I got everything in there first before I left it. Either case, though, that is the end of the chapter, and thus the end of the episode. Looks like we are learning a little bit more about the crew's distrust for Tom, and this implant seems it's proving very very worrisome, shall we say. If I go to chapter select real quick, I just hit chapter 1. I can still go to the different sectors. If I go to the planetarium really quickly, because this also does show parts about the crew. Yeah, so if I just...
This is the command center.
Yeah.
You can check on the crew status from here.
So we have 6. We have Suichi, Mikhail, Sarah, Daniel, Chris, and Ava. Ava didn't have a quarter down there. Makes sense. We've kind of been on the ISAs, like Europa. Not the lander. Lander's what we took down here, but the I don't know what I'm trying to call it. Either way, we don't have a quarter down here. So we've seen a quarter for Chris, Mikhail, Sarah, and Suichi. I don't recall seeing one for Daniel. I did see one for Chris. Now, if I go back to the main menu, and I take a look at the prologue.
Exactly is the emergency.
The ground crew found an organism the ISA believed to be dangerous.
Ava,
We need to re-establish communication.
Mikhail, Sarah, Chris. 2, 3, 4. Suichi. Okay, so we're Daniel. Looks like pod malfunction. Tom told us that he's been down there with the rest of the team and that he died. This is calling it a pod malfunction, though. And he doesn't even have a... He doesn't even have a room down there. Makes sense for us not to have a room down there, but why doesn't Daniel, the captain, why doesn't he have a pod down there? Or why is he having a pod malfunction? Why is Tom saying he's... Just stuff to think about. But in any case, that will have to do it for this episode. I might take a look and see if I can't find or make use of those numbers we found in Chris's room for the door over here, but I'll probably cut most of that out of the video anyways. I'm not too sure what to do with this computer. Again, well, actually, hold on. Now that I've gone through it a little bit, is any of this... Okay, all this is still... All that's still red. Sure. Don't know what to do with that. And I'll look and see if I can't do anything. Well, no, we found this stuff in Chris's room. This is saying Daniel. So that's not even going to help us at all. In any case, that's it for this episode. Thank you folks so much for watching. I hope you all have enjoyed. I can't wait to see more of the mysteries lie ahead in the next one. Peace.